The following items will be covered within this video. Items included in your RockSolid Floors kit, additional items you may need that are not included within the kit, before you begin, preparing the floor for coating, installation of the RockSolid Floors full chip system. Installation of the RockSolid Floors full chip add-on kit does require the use of the RockSolid Floors partial chip kit system. Items included within your RockSolid Floors partial chip kit system: Polyurea primer body coat, clear polyurea top coat, 2 8-ounce bags of decorative chip, the RockSolid Floors Safe Etch solution, how-to instructional DVD. Items included in your RockSolid Floors full chip add-on kit: 25-pound bag of decorative chip, polyurea clear top coat, 1 burst pouch. Additional items you may need that are not included in your RockSolid Floors kit: shop vac with squeegee attachment, pressure washer to clean the floor, 9-inch or 18-inch roller covers, quantity of 2, 9-inch or 18-inch roller pan, quantity of 2, 9-inch or 18-inch roller frame with extension handle, 3-inch disposable paint brushes, quantity of 2, disposable rubber gloves, stiff bristle broom, garden hose with spray nozzle, blue masking tape, recommended safety equipment for etching, see bottle for recommendations, protective plastic sheeting, poly or tarp, protective safety glasses, NIOSH approved respirator, 10-inch metal scraper. Before you begin the process of preparing the floor for coating, it is important to follow the following steps to ensure proper adhesion. You will need to determine if the concrete has been previously sealed by utilizing a simple test of pouring a small amount of water onto the surface in various areas of the floor. If the water beads, a sealer is present and either needs to be chemically or mechanically removed with a diamond grinder, available at your local rental store. Please visit RockSolidFloors.com for more information and recommendations. If the floor has been previously coated, you need to determine if the coating is well adhered to the surface. If it is, you can go over the previously coated floor by scuff sanding using 40 to 80 grit sandpaper and wiping down the surface with acetone. Please make sure to wear the proper protective equipment and follow the manufacturer's instructions. Mechanical grinding will be necessary to remove coatings that have delaminated from the surface. Contact your local hardware store for more information on grinder rental. Testing coating for adhesion. With a razor blade, cut an X through the coating and down to the concrete. Apply a 5-inch piece of duct tape over the X and press down firmly. Completely remove the tape with one quick pull. If more than 10% of the taped area is removed, the original coating is not bonded well and needs to be chemically or mechanically removed with a diamond grinder. Warning: if you sand or remove old coatings, you may release lead dust. Lead is toxic. Exposure to lead dust can cause serious illness such as brain damage. Especially in children, pregnant women should also avoid exposure. Wear a NIOSH approved respirator to control lead exposure. Clean up carefully with a HEPA vacuum and a wet mop. Before you start, find out how to protect yourself and your family by contacting the National Lead Information Hotline at 1-800-424-LEAD or log on to epa.gov/lead. Testing for moisture. Apply a 3-foot by 3-foot sheet of plastic, such as a heavy-duty garbage bag or plastic sheeting, to an area of the floor. Tape down the edges with duct tape and allow to sit for 24 to 48 hours. If water droplets appear on the inside of the plastic, or if the concrete appears to be wet, the moisture in the concrete is high. Temperature extremes. The ideal temperature range for the installation of the RockSolid Floors kit is 40 degrees Fahrenheit to 90 degrees Fahrenheit, 4 degrees Celsius to 32 degrees Celsius. Warmer temperatures can shorten the working time. Cooler temperatures will require longer working times. Preparation of the concrete using the RockSolid Floors Safe Etch solution should not be attempted below 40 degrees Fahrenheit. This preparation method involves the using of water to flush the surface and could cause the formation of unwanted frost or extended dry times at temperatures near freezing. Humidity can also affect the dry time of the primer body coat. Higher humidity will shorten the pot life of the material and may cause it to set up quicker. For installations in high humidity, we suggest that you enlist the help of another person to apply the material to the floor faster. If it is raining or extremely damp conditions exist, It is not recommended to coat the floor. Concrete substrate must be completely dry at the time of the application to achieve proper adhesion. Concrete inspection. Concrete is different in many areas of the country. Some concrete is especially hard, which will require extra etching to provide an anchor for your RockSolid Floors Polyurea Primer Body Coat. If you have soft and chalky concrete or areas of concrete that have spalling, chipping, or cracking, use the RockSolid Floors Patch Kit or a commercial-grade repair product to repair and level out the floor prior to coating. The RockSolid Floors Safe Etch solution is used to open the pores of the concrete, thus providing the proper adhesion required for a long-lasting floor. The etching is required on all uncoated concrete floors, either new or old. While the etching will clean the concrete, cleaning is done prior to etching using a professional-grade degreaser. Thoroughly sweep out all dust and dirt on the floor and apply a mist of water to the surface. The concrete should accept the water evenly and consistently across the entire surface to be coated. If there are areas of beading on the surface, it represents a possible contamination like oil, wax, or tire dressing. These areas will need to be cleaned with a full concentrate of a professional-grade degreaser. Scrub the area with a stiff bristle broom, rinse and inspect again. If water continues to bead on the surface, retreat the stain and scrub again until water no longer beads in that area. Once you have determined the water is no longer beading on the surface, you are now ready to etch the concrete. Please see recommended safety practices located on the container. Slowly add 1 quart of the RockSolid Safe Etch solution to 3 quarts of water in a plastic watering can, 1 gallon total. Working in a 10-foot by 10-foot section, pour out the etch solution evenly on the floor. Scrub the solution around with a stiff bristle broom. The etching solution should fizz for about 4 to 5 minutes while being scrubbed. If the concrete does not fizz, it means there is sealer on the floor and must be chemically or mechanically removed. When fizzing stops, rinse off the solution and move on to the next section. When all sections are completed, rinse 3 times and scrub with a stiff bristle broom while rinsing. Do not leave pooled water on the floor. Let the floor dry at least 2 to 4 hours or overnight with the door open so air will move over the surface. Use a squeegee, wet dry vacuum, or a fan to speed up the drying process. It is imperative that the floor be completely dry before applying any coating. Failure to follow this warning will create application issues and possible product failure. This RockSolid Floors Partial Chip Kit comes with 2 pouches of the RockSolid Floors Polyurea Primer Body Coat and 1 pouch of the RockSolid Floors Clear Polyurea Top Coat. At this point, you will need to differentiate between the 2 coatings and set the clear polyurea top coat aside for later use. Do not mix the primer body coat and the clear polyurea top coat together. Do not mix the decorative chips with the coating. Mix only 1 pouch at a time. Each pouch has a maximum of 20 minutes of working time. Installation of the RockSolid Floors Full Chip System. Place a tarp on the ground and thoroughly mix the materials in the RockSolid Floors Polyurea Primer Body Coat pouch by shaking it back and forth and squeezing each side of the pouch. Any clumps need to be massaged to break them up and blend them into the rest of the coating. Do this on both pouches so they will be ready for mixing prior to breaking the middle seal and combine the 2 components. Combine the 2 components by placing the pouch on the ground and rolling it like a tube of toothpaste. This will create pressure in the part B side and force the middle seal to break, thus allowing the 2 components to mix together. Thoroughly mix the materials by shaking the pouch back and forth and squeezing the edges and the corners towards the center of the pouch. Mixing should be done for at least 1 minute. Once the material is thoroughly mixed, use a pair of scissors to cut the corner off the pouch. Application of the RockSolid Floors Polyurea Primer Body Coat. Squeeze the mixed material from the pouch into a 9-inch or 18-inch paint tray, keeping a small amount to pour into a small bucket for brushing in the edges. Using a 3-inch paintbrush, cut the material in around the perimeter on half the area to be coated. Fully saturate a 9-inch or 18-inch 3/8-inch nap roller and apply the material in a 4-foot by 4-foot section in a thin and even coat across the floor using an M&W pattern. This pattern will provide the most uniform results and ensure the material will be spread over the desired area. RockSolid Floors recommends the use of a quality 18-inch 3/8-inch nap roller. This will allow for a smoother, professional installation. RockSolid Floors full chip installation. Once a strip across the entire back wall has been coated, you may broadcast the decorative chip. This is best done by holding a 5-gallon bucket of chip in one arm and simply throwing handfuls of chip up into the air with the other. The higher you throw the chip, the more it'll spread out. Continue to apply the product following this method. It will be important when broadcasting the chip to leave yourself a wet edge. This is a 6-inch to 12-inch section of the coated floor that will not receive chip until the next section of the coating is applied and rolled into the wet edge, allowing for a seamless application. Apply the material and broadcast the chip into the entire area being coated at a uniform rate, making sure to maintain an even material thickness. It will always be best to apply the material over the shortest distance possible. Using unfilled saw-cut control joints can simplify your application by allowing you to break up your installation into smaller sections. If doing so, be sure to cut in the edges carefully and do not overlap into a previously coated area. For wider areas, we suggest that you have 2 installers rolling out the material to expedite the process. Basically, they will flip-flop around each other, taking turns and cutting in edges with a brush, rolling and broadcasting chip. Average cure time is 4 to 6 hours. Once you have determined that the coating is cured, you can begin the process of removing the excess chips from the surface. Use a leaf blower to blow the loose chip that did not bond to the floor into a corner. Once all the loose chips have been blown into a pile, simply scoop them up by using a dustpan to return them to the chip box. This chip is still good and can be used on future coatings. After all the good chips have been recovered, use a 10-inch metal scraper and tape it to a broomstick to lightly scrape the floor in one direction. This knocks down uneven chips and levels the floor. After the floor has been scraped in one direction, turn perpendicular and scrape the entire floor again in the other direction. Failure to scrape chips will lead to increased product usage and sharp, heavily textured floors. At this point, you can either use a leaf blower to push the chips into a pile or vacuum the entire floor to remove the scrapings. No matter which method is used, the goal is to remove any and all loose chips that may be on the floor. Sometimes it is best to start at the back of the garage and use the leaf blower to push any debris out of the garage door onto the driveway, which can be vacuumed up prior to applying the RockSolid Floors clear polyurea top coat. The full chip add-on kit requires 2 RockSolid Floors clear polyurea top coat pouches to be utilized for each 250 square foot area to be coated. One pouch is supplied in the partial chip kit and the other pouch is supplied in the full chip add-on kit. Mix only one pouch at a time. Each pouch has a maximum of 20 minutes of working time. Mix RockSolid Floors clear polyurea top coat pouches. Mix as described in steps 1 through 3 under the mixing of the RockSolid Floors Polyurea Primer Body Coat mixing instructions. Make sure that you are wearing clean shoes when applying the clear top coat. Sometimes it is best to wear shoe covers so that there is no chance of contaminating the floor. Always be careful not to walk on any wet coating during the application. Squeeze the mixed material from the pouch into a 9-inch or 18-inch paint tray, keeping a small amount to pour into a small bucket for brushing in the edges. Using a 3-inch paintbrush, cut the material in around the perimeter on half the area to be coated. Fully saturate a 9-inch or 18-inch roller and apply the material in 4-foot by 4-foot sections in a thin and even coat across the floor using an M and W pattern. Continue this technique until the entire floor has been coated, cutting in the edges as you go. Cure time. Depending on temperature and humidity, the average cure time is 6 to 8 hours for foot traffic and a minimum of 24 hours for vehicle traffic. Do not walk on the coating while it's still tacky. Use caution tape to block off all access points to avoid accidental contamination of the wet coating. Do not lower the garage door all the way down before the coating has fully cured. Cleanup. Disposal of rollers and brushes. Allow unused product to harden and dispose of according to your local regulations. You have now completed the installation of your RockSolid floor. It will provide you with a strong and durable finish that will last for years.